As loud explosions were heard in Iran, President Trump met with his national security team in the White House Situation Room. Joining us now is NBC Washington correspondent Alice Barr, who's been covering politics for years now. And Alice, the president is sending more U.S. military to the region. What do we know about how they could be used there?
Yeah, so this is kind of, I would say, posture at this point that certainly the U.S. is trying to send a clear message to Iran that it's going to back up its ally, Israel. This is aircraft carrier and some other ships that are being sent to the region. At this point, no sign of actually stepping into the conflict with U.S. troops going into Iran, but there is new reporting about the possibility that the U.S. may actually strike inside of Iran, may join Israel in its effort to try to destroy Iran's capabilities to develop a nuclear weapon. That is what's at stake here. President Trump has said time and again that Iran cannot be allowed to have a nuclear weapon.
What's the thought of the U.S. getting involved? I mean, we've heard about the back and forth that's been going on, the kind of a war of words that's been taking place. What's the likelihood of us getting in and showing some kind of force?
Yeah, so it's certainly something that's under very serious consideration. Administration officials say that President Trump is considering a range of options, and among them is a possible U.S. strike on Iran. One of Iran's most critical nuclear enrichment sites is buried deep under a mountain, and destroying it would likely require an American warplane with a massive bunker-busting bomb that only the U.S. has. So that seems to be the most likely path in which the U.S. might get involved with actually dropping a bomb in Iran, which would be a massive, massive development. Also worth noting that President Trump is stepping up his public messaging, having posted that the U.S. knows exactly where Iran's supreme leader is hiding, saying we're not going to take him out, at least for now, but adding our patience is wearing thin. And there has been a response this morning from Iran's ambassador to the United Nations, calling the president's remarks very hostile and part of their calculation on whether and how to respond. Chesley.
Seems to be somewhat of a split, right, when we talk about congressional Republicans lining up on the issue. What are you seeing?
Yeah, certainly a split from among both parties, but Republicans, this is tough because there are those that are Iran hawks. I think of like Senator Lindsey Graham, who has said that he believes in going in and being forceful against Iran. But there are also, you know, the president said while he was running for office that he was going to be a peacekeeper and that he was not going to get the U.S. involved in any more foreign conflicts. It's part of that America First ethos. And so there are those in the MAGA world, Make America Great Again world, who don't want to see the U.S. get involved in another potentially intractable war in the Middle East and don't think that that is part of the America First strategy. So that is a really serious potential, you know, rift or line up there that the president has to calculate amongst. And important to note that he has said very clearly that if there is any kind of threat to U.S. troops, that would be certainly a red line. And I think that's something that lawmakers in general agree with, that would require a response. Two U.S. officials have said Iran is prepared to strike U.S. bases in the Middle East if they choose to, though there are no indications anything is imminent. Some new comments, though, this morning from Iran's supreme leader saying any American military entry will undoubtedly be met with irreparable damage. And that's where that escalating war of words is becoming more and more kind of fierce. And the president, again, has said targeting U.S. troops in any way would bring a forceful response. Chesley.
All right, Alice, really appreciate your insight. We'll be talking to you more and more about this to come, I'm sure.